I'm Maddie. We're here. It's Monday. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about as good as you're gonna get it from us. We're here.
We are here. I don't like Mondays.
Mondays and I don't mix.
Yeah. Let's see who we have in our chat. We see a Batman, a Panini. We got a Fuckwad. Good morning to a Fuckwad. Good morning to Mezzo. Good morning to Neil and Rhetorical. Electrical Skateboard, Slow Cool, and a good afternoon to the Batman. We see a Panina hanging out there and a Neil as well. So hi everybody. Welcome to the show. Merlin is coming out of your speakers into your mic. What?
What? I'm coming out of your speakers. I'm in your... What am I doing?
Well, it shouldn't be happening.
Moving around and everything as he's speaking and everything. Your mic sensitivity.
Am I going on a field trip again and I don't even know it?
No, it's not.
Yes.
Okay, he said there we go. Alright. Better. Now he's way louder than you. Okay, let me turn him down. Alright, let me check and see if my computer has turned down my thing again. Open sound settings. I hope that's the same thing as it was before. Of course not, because, you know, Windows 10 had to update, so now I can't just right-click the fucking speaker and tell it to open up my recording doodads.
Oh, yay. Good old Microsoft. They are my favorite.
It needs to die in a fire.
No, no. I love my Microsoft 10.
Input.
And a half.
No. That should do it. I hope. Maybe. Alright. Your mic is very quiet and Merlin is in the correct range. Okay. Well, see, I can't get to my...
Yay, it's a Monday!
No, you're not late, Jacob.
Jacob, you're right on time. Congratulations, and hello, Jacob. I hope you're having a fabulous day down there in Louisiana in the swamp.
Let's see here.
I hope you're staying away from the gators.
Everything is master volume, output, and input are supposed to be at 100.
Hey, Draconis.
Power. Yeah, choose my input device. Device properties. Why do you have to change shit? It was working fine before. Alright, here we go. I found it.
Oh, ow, ow, ow.
What?
You're loud. Oh my goodness, you're loud. I gotta turn my volume down.
Okay, let me...
Mama peaked it up a little too high.
Yeah, well...
And now I'm echoing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll fix it. Well, the problem is this, and I will explain to everybody what the fucking problem is.
It's the operator.
No, it's the fact that there was a massive update for Windows 10, and when it updated, it decided that it was going to no longer cooperate with Voicemeeter Banana.
Who's robotic?
Okay, but Merlin. Yeah, everybody keeps rubbing in the fact that they're on Windows 7. That's getting
No, I don't like you anymore. You were my favorite, but screw off.
It's getting annoying. It's not like I had a choice in the matter. Every single new computer is coming out with Windows 7. At least it sounds like
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't help that.
Yeah, they're on Windows 7 until something happens and there's no fix for it and everything, and then they'll have new choice.
Yeah, Neil, I am going to be stuck with Windows 10 soon. Yeah, well, when you get there, you know.
I'll laugh at you then, but yeah, Windows 10 sucks so hard.
It does.
It sucks just as bad as Monday, maybe even worse.
Yeah, most definitely. Alright, so we're just...
I need more coffee here.
Coffee?
Yeah.
Coffee? He said coffee.
Okay.
Coffee
Yay, Merlin sounds human again. Oh, okay, so I had to get him off the desktop audio. This is just fucked up. Okay. Our first tweet of the morning comes from Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Historic day for our country. Swearing-in ceremony for Gina Haspel, the first woman ever to serve as CIA director. Democrats are losing their war against women in the Trump administration.
So a woman is a CIA director now.
Yeah.
Big deal.
But Trump is sexist, don't you know? According to the left, Trump is sexist.
The whole world is sexist.
Right.
Right.
Because, you know, you can't be... You have to ignore the fact that... What was that? Because they let you? Oh, wait. Yeah.
Circular logic. You gotta love it.
Yeah. It does. It's a cognitive dissonance.
Ow. They're gonna cry no matter what.
They are.
Now they're gonna say, well, do we think we should have a woman as CIA director? Because it's a very important job, you know.
Right. They're never gonna be happy. Really, they are.
And Batman, you're right. Perfect job for a woman spying on other people's secrets.
Alright, let's see. Next one is, there was apparently the G20 summit happened this weekend.
Oh, it did?
Panina Draconith, and good morning. Pen is what we call, what we so lovingly name Panina. So the G20 summit happened this weekend, so there's about 4 tweets in relation to that, and I'm going to see what kind of information I'm going to dig up on that to see if I can do a video on it. But the first one is... Deputy Secretary Sullivan met with Foreign Minister Jorge Faure to thank Argentina for its leadership in advocating for a resolution to Venezuela's humanitarian crisis and galvanizing regional support for the restoration of democracy in Venezuela. Well, they got to get rid of the dictator first.
Yeah, which they just is still president.
Yeah.
This weekend got voted back in or something like that, or took control or something.
Yep. Oops. That was about Venezuela too. Apparently there's one I'm missing, but that's okay. We'll go with this one. Deputy Secretary Sullivan also met with Korea's Vice Foreign Minister Cho on the margins of the G20 and affirmed the U.S. alliance is stronger than ever and pledged to maintain close coordination during this crucial time. Crucial time meaning the peace talks that are supposed to be coming up June 21st, I believe.
Yeah, if it doesn't get canceled. And when does a Korean, is taller than American?
I know, right?
That is a short American dude.
That is a very short American dude. Very short indeed. The next tweet is the Secretary Sullivan with Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi on the margins of the G20 and reaffirmed the U.S. and Indonesia strategic partnership and shared commitment to combat terrorism. So they had to reaffirm that after the the familial, and I'm using that term correctly, suicide bombings that happened last week.
Yeah, definitely. That's supposed to get a lot worse.
Yep. Now the G20 summit is supposed to be about what? Foreign world economics and stuff like that.
Supposedly, it's supposed to be that.
Okay. To me, from these tweets, it sounds more like posturing. Like, see, I'm shaking hands. We're still friends. Okay, this is still working.
It's peacocking.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, out of the FDA, which is going to lead to me reading a small document, our efforts to make requirements for human subject research more consistent present an opportunity to enhance protection of research subjects and reduce the regulatory burden on the research community by creating efficiencies and strengthening standards.
Do your job?
Let me repeat that. To enhance protection of research subjects and reduce the regulatory burden on the research community. Okay, excuse me, but I don't think those two go hand in hand, because if you reduce the regulatory burden on the research community, that means you are relaxing certain rules and regulations on particular test subjects.
Yeah, like the one test they were doing sick of people in the box and throwing a whole bunch of pollutants into a room where they're all choking and dying and getting a bunch of cancer and everything else.
Yeah.
Because, that's always fun, cancer.
Yeah, just give somebody cancer just totally voluntarily and see what happens, because, nothing could possibly go wrong.
In other words, is the government thinking it knows what it's doing when it doesn't?
Yeah. And on that, we have the guidance on the Institutional Review Board written procedures that have been finalized. This was posted on the 18th of May of this year. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the Department of Health and Human Services Office for Human Research Protections on Thursday finalized guidance on the written procedures institutional review boards are expected to maintain and follow. I like how they say expected. IRBs are bodies established to approve and oversee studies involving human research subjects in order to ensure that participants are adequately protected. The guidance finalizes a draft version from in 2016 and is being issued as part of a requirement under the 21st Century Cures Act for HHS and FDA to harmonize their human subject protection regulations.
Harmonize.
Harmonize. Specifically, the guidance provides IRBs with a 55-item checklist to follow to ensure that the written procedures they develop meet the regulatory requirements for the studies they oversee. Under federal regulations, IRBs are required to follow written procedures for various functions, including conducting reviews of research, determining which projects require more frequent review, and reporting issues that occur during research to the appropriate agency officials. But regulations do not specify the content and format written procedures must follow, so it is up to individual IRBs to develop and maintain their own set of written procedures. Our efforts to...
Okay. Esther Conan puts us, the FDA, the guys who drug our food.
Yep, exactly. Our efforts to make the regulatory requirements and guidance for human subject research more consistent present an opportunity to both enhance the protection of human research subjects and reduce the regulatory burden on the research community by creating efficiencies and strengthening standards in the clinical trial enterprise, said the FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb. Now, again, those seem like contradictory phrases within the same sentence.
It's all about harmonizing.
Enhancing the protection of research subjects and reduce the regulatory burden.
No, that was stupid.
So, which one is it? Are you going to enhance the protection of human research subjects? Or are you going to reduce the regulatory burden on the research community? Because when
boys, girls, this is what's known as doublespeak.
Because it's just this whole paragraph gives me the heebie-jeebies. It really does. Because okay, if you reduce the regulatory burden on the research community, like I said before, you're opening the door for people to abuse test subjects. Okay? But if you are enhancing the protection of human research subjects, you are making it harder for these research facilities to abuse the test subjects. Because let's face it, human test subjects are voluntary. Well, in a good amount of cases.
In theory.
In theory, yeah. In a good amount of cases, in order to be fair. I mean,
Yeah, in theory.
In theory. So, yeah. It's a little scary when they start talking like this and you see this double speak. And, pointing this out just makes it a little more, black and white. Or in this case, blue and white, since I highlighted it on the screen for everybody to see. It always... I know it's cheaper. I know they do it because it's cheaper. But I've always had the question that I've wanted to ask the FDA of, if the EU has outlawed artificial additives and preservatives in food, and our companies over here that manufacture prepackaged food in order to sell the food to the EU has taken out all artificial additives and preservatives to sell to the EU, why can't they do that here? I understand it's cheaper. I understand the artificial shit is cheaper. But it's not better for you.
Well, that's because there's too many white privileged people here in this country, and we gotta get rid of them all.
Batman never volunteered for anything. Yeah.
Well, that's what they teach you in the military anyway.
Yeah.
Basically what this is saying is, look, we wrote fancy words on a piece of paper, but everyone continue what you were doing. There is no changes here.
Right, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. But there is something to see here out of Yellowstone National Park. One of our most popular posts last week, a bison in Wyoming.
That's a buffalo.
No, it's a bison.
That's a part of the buffalo family.
Mm-hmm.
A bison is a buffalo.
I heard bison burgers were good.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
They are.
And Batman goes, when we get boxes of American pre-packed food, they're nearly always empty. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's M. Bison. So pretty.
It is. I love these pictures. That's why I like ending this segment like this. It's always nice to see pictures like that. Alright, so I guess it's time for us to roll, you know, the segue and get into that other stuff.
Roll that beautiful pain footage.
What they said.
Right. Okie dokie. Starting with the weather that some people are stuck with and other people like, depending on where you are in the country. Here is an overview from the National Weather Service, and this prediction is good until May 23rd. That is Wednesday, and yes, I am going to pronounce it like that to trigger everybody. Alright, here we go. There is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms over parts of the Ohio Valley. Heavy rain possible over parts of the southeastern Gulf Coast. Oh, boy. A front extending from the mid-Atlantic westward to low pressure over the Ohio Valley, middle Mississippi Valley, then southward across parts of the lower Mississippi Valley into the southern plains will have the southern half of the boundary dissipate by Monday evening. Overnight Monday, a new boundary develops over parts of the Central Plains into the Ohio Valley, middle Mississippi Valley. The surface low will slowly move northeastward toward the northern Appalachians by Tuesday evening, pulling the associated front to portions of the mid-Atlantic across the southern Ohio Valley. Let me see. Showers and thunderstorms will develop along and near the boundary from parts of the mid-Atlantic to the middle Mississippi Valley and southward across parts of lower Mississippi Valley into the southern plains. Will slowly lift northeastward to the northeast on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I don't think they edited it this morning, apparently. They're Mondaying a lot, too, because it says, lift northeastward to the northeast on Tuesday into Tuesday evening while showers and thunderstorms continue over parts of the Ohio Valley into the lower Mississippi Valley. In addition, upper-level energy over the southeast will become quasi-stationary over parts of the eastern Gulf Coast through Tuesday evening as additional upper-level energy moves northward along the southeast coast. The energy will aid in producing showers, yay, and thunderstorms over parts of Florida into parts of eastern Gulf Coast that will expand westward into the Tennessee Valley and northward into the southern mid-Atlantic through Tuesday evening into Wednesday. Meanwhile, a deep upper-level trough over the west coast will slowly move into parts of the Great Basin, while weakening by Tuesday evening. Upper-level dynamics and moisture moving northwestward out of the western Gulf of Mexico will aid in developing showers and thunderstorms over parts of the northern High Plains into the southern Rockies through Tuesday evening. Under the upper-level trough, rain with embedded thunderstorms will develop over parts of the Great Basin, east central California, that will expand into the northern Rockies by Monday evening and into the central Rockies by Tuesday evening. The showers and thunderstorms will have a slight diurnal component to the aerial coverage. That covers the whole country. I always do a general country forecast, Jacob. Alright, looking at what the...
So you're getting showers today, possible showers.
Yeah, right. We did yesterday. We got some thunder boomers yesterday. The thunder boomers so much that Panina heard them through my microphone while we were playing WoW last night. So yeah, we have more rain and thunderstorms in our area, reaching across and also encircling Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, and states abroad. Oh, excuse me, not Oklahoma, but Texas mostly. Flash flooding is possible in some parts of the west, the southwest, as well as some thunderstorms in Ohio and Indiana or Illinois. My geography sucks, people, so don't laugh. I'll be the first.
Batman says apparently in the UK it's sunny.
Oh, well, okay. The temperature forecast for the U.S. is up in the New England region. Over here, we have a scattering of temperatures between the 60s and the 80s. And the further down we go, it goes from a mixture of the 70s up into the 90s. Probably staying pretty well even here in Georgia, probably in the 80s for us. And then you've got the further west you go, the hotter it gets, especially southeast in this region over here. And we still got some cold spots out west in Cali and Nevada and other places where you see this blue. They're in 40 to 50 degree weather. But we are warming up. There is a warming trend, and we are keeping an eye on it because we want you guys to know.
And those spots are basically high elevations.
Yep.
So they're through the Rockies and stuff.
Yep. And, you know, for those of you that are wondering, yes, I live in Atlanta. Yes, I live where the Weather Channel is. And no, I don't listen to the Weather Channel. I don't.
You get free Coke?
Yeah, I don't listen to the Weather Channel. I trust the National Weather Service, which is nowhere in Atlanta.
That's good.
Call it,
Atlanta.
yeah. Right, because Atlanta. Call it irony. I don't care, but, you know, Atlanta. All right.
I can name another state.
There's a YouTube,
Hawaii.
yeah. There's a YouTube video that was shared to us by Panina, and I think my dear Merlin is going to show us tell us a little bit about that.
I forgot the name of it already.
I'll tell you the name of it because I've got it on the screen now.
Okay.
Scott Adams shows you how to guide a victim out of Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes. It's actually a pretty good video. I actually watched this morning when I was putting this show together. Basically, it takes all the myths that, you know, for example, Trump saying that all immigrants were animals. And then on closer inspection, you find out he was talking about MS-13, not all immigrants. He goes by those little bubbles, each one, and he explains each one, and it shows how people got confused, how it's not true, and the simple facts of the case, and moves on. It's pretty good, actually. It's 44 minutes. It's worth watching, though. He covers what's still called scandals, quote unquote, everything that the left and the right has tried to put on Trump, and he's pretty good, thorough, and he seems like he uses common sense he uses. So yeah. So thank you, Panina.
Merlin, I have a question.
Oh no.
What's common sense?
Oh wait, common sense is what you find on a fortune cookie.
I thought that was a fortune. Now I'm confused.
Oh. Well, then, I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Okay. Alright, so then we're going to come back here where I'm going to shrink. Yeah, making fun of the fact that I said Atlanta! I know I pronounced that correctly.
What? You live there, you should.
Well, excuse me, I live in Georgia. You're supposed to pronounce it Atlanta.
Oh, whatever.
Without all the T's. Without Atlanta. I live in Atlanta.
Like in Georgia.
Right.
But she doesn't live in Hawaii.
No. Thank God. Because we wouldn't be doing this right now.
No, we wouldn't.
Oh, I sound bad.
Alright, so let me explain a little bit of this map. By the way, I've been watching the live streams, and it is loud. When the gas is escaping and everything else. What you see here in the red is the lava flow. Alright. And I think the pink is the... Yeah, they're all lava flows right here. And it's still coming. I mean, no signs of slowing down whatsoever. But you'll see there's like 2 lava flows coming down. And there's red dotted lines that cross Route 137, which cuts that road off. and it's hitting the water now. So it is draining into the water, which is causing a new hazard out there. So they're not having fun at all. On Saturday, authorities reported the first known serious injury from the eruptions, when one resident's leg was shattered. The man's leg was hit by a solid lump of lava called a lava bomb. A lava bomb is when the gases force it out and they shoot straight up like a bullet. And he basically got hit by one. This was while he was standing on the third floor balcony of his home. Mark Clausen, a friend of the victim, said he heard screaming and saw the harrowing aftermath. Apparently, a fiery 5-pound lava bomb about the size of a dinner plate was launched from a visitor just 200 yards from the house and landed on his neighbor. It started a small fire, which Clausen helped douse as he tried to help his friend.
Merlin, you might want to try and restart your Discord. You are roboting, sweetheart.
Great. I'll be back.
Alright.
Hi.
I know. It started a small fire. I gotta figure out where I am on the thing. There it goes. Let me see. Which Clausen helped douse as he tried to help his friend. The lava bomb caused such damage, doctors had to pick sharp, hardened fragments of lava out of the wound, but they say the prognosis is good for the victim. Civil defense notices caution motorists, boaters, and beachgoers to beware of caustic plumes of Lileaves forming from 2 streams of hot lava pouring into the sea after cutting across Highway 137 on the coast of Hawaii's Big Island late Saturday and early Sunday. Problem is trying to...
Alright, I'm back. How do I sound now?
A whole lot better. A whole lot better. We are right. We are civil defense. We're at civil defense.
Alright, you talked about the Lileaves?
I have not talked about the Lileaves yet. I just read the first sentence.
Alright, civil defense cautioned motorists, boaters, and beachgoers to beware of caustic plumes of Lileaves formed from 2 streams of the hot lava pouring out into sea after cutting across Highway 37 on the south coast of Hawaii's Big Island late on Saturday and into early Sunday. Lileaves is a blend of lava and haze. It's a lava that hits the ocean water, which causes hydrochloric and steam into the air with fine glass particles mixed in. Under Sunday's conditions, the Lileaves plumes could extend as far as 50 miles or 24 kilometers, mostly along the coast and offshore. Acid rain from the Lileaves has corrosive properties that has been likened to diluted battery acid. The bulletins also warned that reports of toxic sulfur dioxide gas being vented from various points around the volcano had tripled, urging residents to take action necessary to limit further explosions. Further exposure. So I don't think we want to see little Hawaiians exploding.
No.
As if Hawaii didn't have enough to deal with, they were hit yet by another massive earthquake on Sunday, registering at a magnitude 4.9. Meanwhile, the USGS has tweeted that several small ash emissions have taken place at a Kilauea volcano summit today, with robust plumes, gas, and steam bellowing out of the Overlord vent and drifting to the southwest. Finally, officials at the Hawaii Volcano Authority have warned that even hotter lava could pour from the fissures across Big Island, with fountains burning as high as 118 meters in the air. From the video live streams I was watching, it was kicking out probably about 300 feet in the air at one point. The new risk will create an even more vicious lava as it heats and oozes across the land into the ocean, casting a further risk of Lileaves. Also, what I forgot to put in here was 4 people had to be rescued from their homes on Saturday. They had to be airlifted out. So now with 137 being cut off as it is, hopefully there's no residents in that area, because if they are, they're kind of trapped, so they would have to use helicopters to go in there and get them if needed.
And as far as the old-time radio show is concerned, Batman, I did move it to Monday so I could have Sundays off, but due to the fact that now that voice meter isn't working, and I don't know how consistent The voice, the integrated voice in the Discord calls is working now when you screen share. It's been postponed until future notice, but as soon as I can figure out how well that sound works, it'll probably be back, but on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just not tonight, because I have way too much work to do.
Alright, Nilk goes, meanwhile, all tourism stuff is still open. Yes, it is. Expect volcano stuff on the Big Island, and they are begging people to stop being scared away. Yes, that's a good point, Nilk. They're losing so much money from lack of tourism right now. The property taxes in that area has dropped, and they're hurting. And they're actually firing people because there's no people coming in. So anybody who has any vacation plans to go on Hawaii is still safe. This is only a part of the island that's being affected right now. You still have a whole island chain to have fun in. So people need to stop being scared. Go. How about the economy? How about the people of Hawaii? And most of all, please keep them in your prayers and thoughts as they go through this tragedy.
Yeah. This is a big event for them, but it isn't a cataclysmic island-wide event.
And they know they live on an island. They know that. Yeah. So people saying, well, they should live on an active volcano. What are you going to do? The whole island's a volcano.
Yeah, so. Exactly. All right, next story. 110 dead in Cuba plane crash as investigators recover cockpit voice recorder. The fiery crash of an aging Boeing passenger jet close to Havana's main airport killed 110 people, while 3 survivors remain gravely ill in hospital, making it the Caribbean island's deadliest air disaster in nearly 30 years. Investigators said they had retrieved the black box cockpit voice recorder, which may offer clues to the as-yet unanswered questions about why the state-run airline Cubana's-stricken Flight 972 crashed. The skies were overcast and rainy at the airport at the time of the accident, and State Vision said the 39-year-old Boeing 737 veered sharply to the right after departing on a domestic flight on the eastern city of Holguin. What the fuck, a 39-year-old plane still in the air? Dude.
It's Cuba, waste space.
Yeah, true. Eyewitness Rocio Martinez said she heard a straight noise and looked up to see the plane with an engine on fire. In flames, here it comes falling towards the ground, and it seems the pilot thought it was an area that was too residential and makes a sharp turn, Miss Martinez said, to avoid the houses, to avoid a tragedy, because there would have been a massacre. Among the dead are 20 clergy members of an evangelical church at the Mexican pilots and cabin crew. Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel said a special commission had been formed to find the cause of the crash. The plane had 104 passengers and 6 crew members.
It's old.
Yeah, it's an old plane.
Yeah.
I mean, once it passes a certain amount of air miles, you're supposed to decommission it and get a new plane. You're not. I mean, a 39-year-old Boeing 737.
And it's, well, disrespect from a communist country.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Texas school shooter.
Alright.
He killed a girl who turned down his advances and embarrassed him in class, her mother says. More details emerged about the shooting that left 10 people dead, and now it's 13 wounded, not 10, as reported on Friday, injured at the Houston area school. The student, who authorities said confessed to the attack, was being held in isolation Saturday as officials identified the victims. One of the shooter's classmates, who died in the attack, Shaun Fisher, had 4 months of problems with this boy. Her mother, Sadie Rodriguez, said he kept making advances on her, and she repeatedly told him no. The shooter continued to get more aggressive, and she finally stood up to him and embarrassed him in class, Rodriguez said. A week later, he almost fired on everyone he didn't like, she wrote, Shauna being the first one. However, Fisher's friends said they could not corroborate the mother's claims. The gunman repeatedly taunted students during the attack, according to another harrowing account posted to Facebook by one survivor's mother. After scrambling to escape the shooter's blast in the art room, Isabella Van Ness could hear the shooter and then next door classroom yelling, "Woohoo!" while shooting, according to her mother, Deidre Van Ness. The gunman then comes back into the room, and they hear him saying, "Are you dead?" Then more shots are fired. By this time, cell phones all over the classroom are ringing, and he's taunting the kids in the closet, asking them, "Do you think it's for you? And you want to come answer it?" Then he proceeds to fire more bullets into the closet and tries to get in. Police arrived within 10 minutes later, as Isabella hid among the bodies of her classmates, and she could hear the shooter reloading after an exchange with police, her mother wrote. Dead included 2 teachers, Glenda Perkins, Cynthia Tisdale, along with Shauna Fisher and 7 of her classmates, Kimberly Vaughn, Angelique Ramirez, Kristen Riley Garcia, Jared Black, Christopher Jake Stone, Aaron Kyle McLeod, and Sabaka Sheikh, an exchange student from Pakistan. 2 bombs that the shooter allegedly brought to the school Friday were intended to be IEDs, improvised explosive devices, but turned out to be non-functional, Galveston County Judge Mark Henry said Saturday. The shooter being held without bond while facing charges of capital murder and aggravated assault on a public servant. His schoolmates were allowed to return to parts of the school Saturday to retrieve their abandoned belongings. According to a probable cause statement, the shooter said that he did not shoot students he did like so he could have his story told. One of the wounded, school police officer John Barnes, remained in critical but stable condition Saturday after nearly dying from blood loss, according to police officials. A close friend, Captain John Stale, the Houston Police Department, said Barnes might lose his right arm. "We want to know exactly what went on in there," Dale said. "All we know is he was the first one in there, and he was shot in both arms." Though the school is now believed to be free of explosives, all district schools remain closed until at least Tuesday as officials sort through the crime scene. Now, if my body with pain stays away long enough, I will write a full-blown article on this. I will basically go through all the victims and all that, and I will have a more thorough breakdown of what happened that Friday. So, pain, stay away.
Yeah. Yeah, this is more and more stuff's coming out. I mean, the first thing that we heard about the kid was he was being made fun of and bullied by coaches and students.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I think, I don't want to wholeheartedly believe what the mother said, but, after these eyewitness accounts and him saying, woo-hoo, wow. Do you think it's for you? All right, this kid is just, by having that much fun and taunting people like that, he had some sort of mental deficiency.
No, he doesn't have a mental deficiency at all. He doesn't have a mental deficiency whatsoever.
It seems
That's
like
not a
that.
mental deficiency. He's absolutely celebrating.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being mentally deficient and enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah.
He got 2 weapons. He got 2 firearms that made him feel like the big man on campus, even though he's probably the biggest fucking wimp in the town.
Nilko's kid had an Iron Cross, hammer, and sickle, and Cthulhu pin on his jacket/shirt. This lets some media outlets claim he was a right-wing extremist by looking at only 1/3 of them.
Yeah,
that's true, Nilk.
Looking at the third they wanted to look at, not the whole picture.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, if pain stays away long enough, I will have an article out going more into detail. But it sounds like that he wanted to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we gotta find out why he wanted to do this. But it sounds like he was having fun, and like Ronan said, wanted to be the big boy on campus and all that stuff. But there's more to it, though, as always, and hopefully more information will come out. No word on the parents as of yet, so we don't know what's going on with his home life or anything like that. But there was a change in him. Because he went from being a football star seemed like he was a likable kid, and then all of a sudden he was on this dark path.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll dig up more.
No, yes, it is amazing though. He used the 2 firearms that the gun control advocates often allow: a shotgun and a revolver. Mm-hmm. Yes, and also on Saturday, the royal wedding that was happening was so important that they squashed this story until last night when there was no other stories to report on. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to try to squash part of the story, concentrate on the victims, but they're not going to hamper on the weapons he used or the IEDs or anything like that. And it's kind of evidence when you look through the news articles.
Yeah,
that's what the mainstream media is trying to do.
Yeah. Morning, Boons.
The same mainstream media that tried to rush the narrative that it was an AR-15 style rifle.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Batman says he gets the feeling he was expected, maybe even hoping to get gunned down in a blaze of glory.
He said that the witnesses would be to tell his story, so it could have been.
Well, he did say the only reason that he didn't commit suicide is because he was too much. He was too.
He's a fucking coward to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have the courage to kill himself.
He didn't have the courage to stand up for himself and everything while everybody was bullying him.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of.
Go back through my history and ask around and everything. What would happen? Growing up, somebody ran their mouth at me like that.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was a teacher. You're gonna have to whoop my ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So this tragic shooting does not fit into the narrative the mainstream media wants.
Nope.
So they will only play a part of it. That'll be the victims, and the rest of it they're trying to bury.
Yeah.
Says there was also a shooter at the Trump Golf Club shortly before the school shooting. Stuff is going crazy everywhere. Yes, Milk, it is.
Yeah. Let me see. Next story on the docket. New zero-tolerance immigration crackdown fills border courts. A new policy the Trump administration announced this month. Migrants caught crossing the border illegally are charged in federal criminal court, including those without criminal records and parents traveling with small children. In other words, no catch and release with the pending court cases. The result, scores of cases flooding the federal courts, especially here in southern Texas, the leading pathway for illegal immigration into the U.S. As U.S. Magistrate Judge Peter Ormsby explained, the first time migrants face a misdemeanor charge with a maximum penalty of $10,000 and 6 months in jail. Most plead guilty and are sentenced to time served at their first hearing. Then they serve their sentence and are transferred to administrative immigration court for deportation. If they are caught crossing again, they will face a federal felony charge and a heftier sentence. Before the new policy was announced, most parents were charged with administrative immigration violations. They were either held by ICE with their children in family detention or released at the border, some with ankle monitors, others with notices to appear in federal immigration court, which they never fucking did.
Yes.
None of it worked. Let me see here. Where was I? Under the new policy, some parents are separated from children in jail. The agency says it aims to reunify parents with their children once they are released or placed in family detention. Border Patrol caught more than 100,000 people illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border in March and April, the highest monthly totals since Trump was elected. Let me see here. Immigrant advocates say the zero-tolerance policy impedes asylum claims and lets the government use children as leverage, forcing parents to agree to deportation so families can reunite. The American Civil Liberties Union filed a lawsuit in California on behalf of parents separated from their children and detained. Let them! Fucking them! Because they can be charged with child trafficking. You are making a minor go through how many miles of a fucking desert climate with very little water and very little food to get over here illegally in the first place? And you're wondering why your kids are being stripped away as you're being arrested?
But we gotta protect those precious immigrants who are dreamers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And everything. I can save everybody a whole lot of problems. Just start shooting them.
Oh.
No, we want their dreams to come true.
I want my dreams to come true, so people will stop crossing the border illegally and actually do things the right way.
Hush, you're American. You don't have dreams. Only immigrants have dreams.
I mean, well,
There we go.
Right, there you go. There you go.
I'm beginning to worry about Merlin. He's been doing too much research for you.
I mean, let's face it. You've got all this shit going on. Frickin', I think I'm trying to catch a cold here.
No, don't die on me.
I'm trying not
Breathe.
to.
Breathe.
We do give asylum.
Breathe.
We do give asylum to those, but the people that we give asylum to are definitely coming from, you know, war-torn countries. People that are really suffering because of the conflicts that are going on in those countries. Otherwise, you have a legal immigration process. Hell, what did Barbara for you to see said in her video? There's over 129 visas that are issued from the U.S. immigration government. So
like that.
There's 129 different ways you can enter this country legally, and your ass is going to drag your kids across the desert to cross it illegally? I'm sorry, but if the only reason you're coming here is to get jobs under the table, to take the jobs from hardworking Americans, to go back to Mexico to spend it on your family, don't come here in the first fucking place. If your intention is not to become an American citizen and help out the economy in the United States of America, but to take whatever money you earn back to your country and give it to your family, don't fucking come here. Because you're doing more harm than good to our country.
No. They sneak over. They save
yes, you did.
They sneak over. They save their money. They give it to their family and everything, who pays tens of thousands of dollars to be snuck across the border.
Yeah.
You know,
I triggered her, Maddy.
Yes, you did.
Up to 10 grand to get smuggled across the border.
I triggered her.
I can hear your smile from here.
What? I'm just saying.
No, I can.
That's what I usually do to ghosts. I usually like to find the stories that trigger him.
I can hear your smile across the internet. Shit.
I'm here for you, though, Maddy. Yes, let the anger flow forth.
You shit.
Meanwhile, Trump versus the Resistance plays out in Washington courtroom. Might as well be like a classroom.
Might as well. It's getting there.
Mental institution. Anyway. When police arrested more than 200 anti-Trump protesters on Inauguration Day 2017, it touched off the long-term battle of wits and wills. On one side, you had a Justice Department that has sought to incarcerate scores of people over a violent protest that smashed downtown storefront windows and set a limousine ablaze. On the other side, an intensely coordinated grassroots political opposition network that has made Washington the focus of a nationwide support campaign, offering free lodging for defendants, legal coordination, and other support. The standoff entered a home stretch last week when the trial began for 4 people, first in a series of group trials for 58 defendants that should last the rest of the year. Charges include property destruction and conspiracy to engage in a riot. Defendants and their supporters have framed the case as a indiscriminate police roundup, followed by a concerted social justice department effort to criminalize legitimate dissent. All right.
There's nothing legitimate about that.
Oh, he's getting to that.
I'm getting to that right now. They broke the law. They got caught. Deal with it. Sure, you're free to break the law if you like, but guess what? You have to deal with the consequences. This is called being responsible for your own actions. What a concept! Am I right?
Yeah, right? Shit.
Responsible for your own actions.
Merlin!
This has never been tried before.
Merlin, are you talking about self-agency?
I think I am.
Oh, no!
Bad communist. Bad communist. This nationwide opposition network has been a visible presence since the trial of the first 6 opposition network. First 6 defendants that began in the fall. Yeah, I gotta talk about that real quick. I didn't feel like writing it out. basically, the trials were supposed to start this spring, but there was a court opening in October or November. The prosecution, of course, was not prepared to do the first 6 because they haven't really concentrated on them because they didn't have enough evidence. So, of course, those 6 got away with it. And also, as I say later, 129 defendants so far, the government has dropped the charges against them. So now it's just these 68 that's left. Tapping into fundraising efforts around the country, defendants were reimbursed for their housing in Washington. Activists packed the courtroom, some serving as media liaisons, while others prepared meals for their defendants and their supporters. The movement focuses far more on street-level action than winning elections. Well, yeah, because they don't vote, that's why. They don't vote, and yet they want to bitch about Trump being president.
Right.
Shut the hell up. Anyway, under Trump, he has begun to unify and cross-pollinate with other movements like, a terrorist group, Black Lives Matter. I'll say it again, they are a terrorist group. Anyway, and immigrant advocates. In supporting the inauguration protesters, social media campaigns have encouraged callers to flood the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Justice Department. Activists recently held a small rally headlined by Chelsea Manning, waste, to urge the government to drop all charges. Does anyone feel like that every single one of these defendants will walk away without paying any price whatsoever for the deeds they committed that day?
Oh yeah, they'll walk.
The government will back down, and they will walk free.
Yeah, I wouldn't let any of them walk. I would absolutely prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. And the more these people whine, the more charges that would come to follow. I'm sorry, you don't get the right to tear up that many places and cause this much trouble and stay free.
Yep.
And yes, Batman, Black Liars Murder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But of course, they won't be decried as a terrorist group because they'd rather go after patriots and liberty-minded groups and target them as terrorists.
Yeah.
Speaking the truth, that's all. Just speaking the truth.
Yep. This is just.
Next story is brought to us, by the way, by who brought that to us? The next story coming up was brought to us by Hobo Ninja. So thank you.
Yep. Hobo Ninja is a friend of Panda. Panda. Berlinah Wallace. Woman cleared of murder after accident attack resulted in ex-boyfriend taking his own life.
Look at that bug.
Right? Berlinah Wallace was cleared of murder but found guilty of throwing a corrosive substance with intent, which permanently disfigured her boyfriend in a harrowing acid attack that resulted in him taking his own life. Berlinah Wallace flew into a fit of jealous rage when her boyfriend of 5 years, Mark Van Dongen, was dating another woman in September 2015. He was sleeping when the attack happened. The 29-year-old engineer suffered serious burns to 25% of his body and was paralyzed from the neck down. Ah, Jesus Christ. And had half his left leg amputated and lost most of his vision. After a year of agonizing surgeries to keep him alive, Mr. Van Dongen moved to Belgium, where he applied for euthanasia and died in dignity. No such thing. On January 3rd, 2017. Well, assisted suicide is legal over there.
Yeah, it is.
That's basically what euthanasia is. I want to die. Okay, come here, we'll help you. Prosecutors pushed to have a murder charge considered by a jury following his death, but on Friday they cleared the former fashion student of murder after her lawyer claimed there was no clear link between her actions and his death. Bullshit! Instead of arguing it was Van Dongen and the doctors involved that were responsible. She was found guilty of throwing a corrosive substance with intent. A Bristol Crown Court heard the attack where Wallace taunted her victim by telling him, "If I can't have you, no one else can." Followed a campaign of domestic violence. Van Dongen became so concerned he expressed his fears with his family and lodged a complaint with police. Wallace was given a harassment warning. She then purchased a corrosive substance using her Amazon account for $30 after police responded to blood-curdling screams as Van Dongen's skin melted from his body. She told officers he had poured the acid in a glass, pretended it was water, really, bitch, really,
Yeah.
and tried to make her drink it. Investigators later found dozens of online searches about acid attacks, which Wallace had cleared from her computer. Just because you delete it doesn't mean it's gone. Mr. Van Dongen's doctor told The Sun he was in extreme pain and severely distressed when he arrived in the hospital. If my face is going to be left looking like this, I don't want to live, Van Dongen told Dr. Rachel Oaten. Wallace will be sentenced next Wednesday.
Batman, she needs an acid face wash of her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
She does. They couldn't find a direct link. Oh, let me see. She throws acid on his ass, melts his skin, disfigures his face, puts him in immense pain that doesn't go away no matter how many fucking surgeries. He goes to a country that allows for assisted suicide, so he's allowed to kill himself with physician's aid, but it's not tied to the attack.
No, not at all. She didn't do anything. All she did was throw the acid, that's all.
Yeah. No.
I mean, her
she
father
conspired to throw the acid.
Right. No, they got her for throwing the acid with intent.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, and women are impressed. That's right. They're impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should have got charged with something.
If a man had done that, it would have been a capital murder charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that led to someone committing suicide. She initiated the act that led up to him killing himself.
Yeah.
So she has to pay some sort, but she's not.
No.
All right, Mezzo, you take care.
All right,
man.
see you next stream, Mezzo. Take care.
So let's talk about you guys throwing your cell phones out in the trash. You all suck. You be ashamed of yourselves. What I want you all to do right now is hang your head in shame. You love your electronic devices all you want, but please don't throw them in the trash when you're done with them. That plea from makers of lithium-ion batteries that typically power our phones, laptops, and even power tools. Thrown into the trash or even the recycling bin, they can cause fires at trash and recycling centers. Last year, 65% of waste facility fires in California began with lithium-ion batteries. And when one goes, others can too. If there's a multiple batteries there, you will have not just a fire, you will have explosions, said Carl Smith, CEO and president of Call to Recycle. It's such a big problem that this week California launched an awareness campaign, of course, to try to get consumers to keep these ever so useful but also potentially dangerous items out of garbage trucks and landfills. As part of a national effort to keep increasingly common batteries from causing fires. Those fires can be devastating. In March, an improperly disposed of a lithium-ion battery caused a 5-alarm fire at a recycling facility in Queens, New York City. It burned for 2 days and shut down 4 branches of the Long Island Railroad for several hours due to the thick smoke blowing onto the tracks. Same month, an Indianapolis recycling plant also shut down after a fire blamed on batteries. Last year, a lithium-ion battery thrown into trash caused an explosion in a New York City garbage truck when the workers compacted the waste, igniting and exploding the battery. We use a lot of them. In 2017, 175 million pounds of lithium-ion batteries were sold into the U.S. market, according to Call to Recycle. The problem with lithium-ion batteries is the same thing that makes them so great. They're small and light, but still pack a serious energy punch. These are the same type of batteries that were catching fire in the recalled Samsung's Galaxy Note 7, as well as many other Samsung and other phone models that don't regularly explode. Even when they pooped out in their device, there's still enough charge in them that they can create a spark the terminal of the battery. The metal bits that send power from the battery into the device. Touch something metallic like the size of a garbage truck. This can close the circuit, which creates an electric charge, and then a spark. And boom! And some recycling programs have special battery recycling. Nationally, oh my goodness. Nationally. See, I got to it. There we go. Lithium-ion batteries can be recyclable at all Home Depots, Lowe's, and Best Buy stores. If you put them in your recycling bin, put them in the closed plastic bags so the battery cannot come into contact with metal. A Ziploc bag or something similar works well. Don't put them in a regular garbage, which is typically crushed and shredded. This can cause fires and even explosions, as we just discussed. So, boom.
Yeah, Neil has exploding is a strong term. That's not what those batteries do. They burst into flames, yes, but they don't explode. Something else might explode when they light it on fire, though. The hell are these people doing charging their phones before they throw them out? Just went and watched a video of a lithium-ion battery exploding. So they don't explode, though. You can see hundreds of videos of them bursting into flames, not exploding. Exploding is such an edgy case. An edge case.
Oh, come on. Well, how dare you take that word away from me? I like that word, Neil. And you're restricting my free speech. From now on, I need to say they explode. I need a safe bubble.
You need a safe bubble?
Yes, with puppy fish.
Puppy fish. Safe bubble with puppy fish. Okay.
Yes.
You heard it here, folks. Safe bubble with puppy fish.
That's what Merlin wants. A safe bubble with a puppy fish.
Safe made of lipo batteries? Okay, you know, we've heard of the warning labels that are now supposed to be on coffee, at least in California, but in Japan they have transparent coffee. Brought to us by Bitter Elasticat, otherwise known as Jason Braziel. We taste test Asashi's Clear Latte, marvel at Japanese drinks wizardry. In Japan, where every grocery store stocks hundreds of bottles of differently flavored and highly caffeinated ambrosia, the latest trend in the beverage business is clear, caffeinated drinks. The beverage gurus at Asahi started up their think tanks and set about engineering the impossible, alchemizing the creamy, rich taste of a latte into a transparent, fat-free, zero caffeine... Oh, don't take the fat out of my latte, motherfucker. Oh... Caffeine.
It was good all the way up to that point.
Yeah, decaffeinated and fat-free. Fuck you. That's all I have to say. The key ingredient, Ethiopian coffee. Ethiopian coffee, people, is like one step below Cuban coffee. It is thick, it is dark, and it mule kicks you into consciousness. I'm just...
Mule kick into
I have had Ethiopian coffee before. The first sip, it takes about a minute, just like Cuban coffee. You'll be firmly into that cup of Ethiopian coffee, and that mule kick is coming, boy. You feel it. That shit kicks in. The key ingredient, Ethiopian coffee, tastes sweet, rich, and just a little sharp. Sweet, my ass. It tastes like Cuban coffee. In other words, it's extremely close to what you might expect from a bottled latte. And then you're going to fuck it up by taking the fat out of it and taking the caffeine out of it. The drink is refrigerated in the convenience store and is super refreshing and knock back a couple of gulps, upon which the coffee flavor hits at full power. Even when the coffee flavor is at its strongest, the water lends a mildness to the drink so that it won't overwhelm you. Unlike slurping down a Starbucks coffee, the taste is subtler. Starbucks sucks. With an understated semi-sweet bitterness for the aftertaste. It's a perfect drink to keep you company at the office or while working at home, because each sip perks you up with a frisson of excitement you'd expect from a coffee drink. Yeah, no, not without the caffeine, fucker. Let's take a look at the message written on the bottom of the bottle, accompanied by a pretty illustration of a classic latte. Take out all the unnecessary extras and you're left with something clear, transparent. This colorless latte has the aroma of an espresso and a mature, startling sweetness that lingers after each sip. Right. Our home-brewed clear latte recipe distills the latte experience down to its delicious essentials. It's a brand new latte that you can gulp down just as easily as the natural water it's made from. A bullshit. The national water they mention here is their own bottled water brand, the flagship product of their Oshimizu delicious water line. Asahi Clear Latte from Oshimizu is available at most convenience stores and retails at the suggested price of 124 yen, which is $1.10 before tax. Please note that it does contain milk products due to the whey mineral extracts, and while caffeine free at 60 calories per bottle, it's calorie light rather than calorie free. Coffee is not coffee without the caffeine. That is not coffee. That is coffee flavored water. Let's get this straight. It's coffee flavored water.
With no caffeine, correct?
Right, with no caffeine. It's coffee flavored water.
These people need to be purified by fire.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Japanese, though. They have a weird twist.
This is the same country that made bacon.
Without caffeine, it's coffee flavored water and everything. We should drop atomic weapons on them at least 2 times. Oh wait.
Oh wait. I've been without coffee for a week. Somehow I started sleeping and waking twice a day as a result.
Batman's on my side. Woohoo! Done a little more searching. Yes, lithium-ion batteries do in fact explode. Thank you, Batman.
We have a massive debate in our live chat.
It has begun.
Well, it's just, to me, it's okay. First of all, if you're drinking decaf coffee, you cannot call yourself a coffee drinker.
No, because you're not drinking coffee.
You're drinking tea.
Pretty much.
Most tea is decaffeinated. Most. Not all. Most. So if you're drinking decaffeinated coffee, you're drinking tea. You're not drinking coffee. You need to have the caffeine in the coffee. You need to have the taste in the coffee. And if you really want to mule kick your ass awake, you drink a little pill-sized cup of Cuban coffee straight. No sugar.
Which I'm waiting for still.
Just... Look, I can send you care packages when we get into our new place of Cuban food, but the only thing I can probably do in that box is send you a Cuban coffee maker and a pound of café pilon.
Ooh.
That's about as close as I can come to giving you your Cuban coffee.
You offended Batman. Actually, my tea is not decaffeinated. It's English tea.
Right.
Well, you know.
I said most, not all. Sheesh.
It's all right, Batman and everything, you know.
And that's Jacob. I enjoy coffee for the French Quarter.
Yeah. See, this is what I have to tell Batman. Sweetheart, Batman, I love you. I said most, not all tea is decaffeinated. I said most. So you're having a problem with the wax buildup in the inside of your ears. You may want to do something with that. I recommend Q-tips.
Batman's only problem is, you know, it's too much of that weak English tea.
Do I need to speak in a Spanish accent for him to pay attention a little more closely?
Of course, fuck what? Hashtag not all.
Right.
I wonder what the French Quarter coffee would taste like.
French Quarter, but we've been there. We've had café au lait and beignets. Okay, café au lait is basically espresso. It's a French version of Cuban coffee. It tastes good. It does have a full body taste. I do recommend anybody going to New Orleans to try café au lait and a beignet, because café au lait is basically coffee and milk.
Yep. You
can add the sugar yourself. And a beignet is an absolutely addictive substance. It's right up there with po' boys.
Oh, jeez, I think you're exciting Batman again.
Keep with the Spanish accent.
Yeah. Batman can't help it.
I guess Jacob wants some Cuban coffee as well.
Yeah. Oh,
so chop.
Yeah, we're working on it. Now we don't have a car. So further setbacks.
I know.
People with weaker constitutions need all that caffeine running because you can't handle the real world. I have one thing to say to that. You are a pain in my ass, Mr. Batman. You can take your weak constitution and shove it up your ass. I'm not talk to you ever again. You're not getting a heart emoji from me in a live chat ever again. I refuse.
Apparently, Maddy, you gave Jacob here a full body cringe of saying New Orleans.
New Orleans, because I was saying it the French way. New Orleans. New Orleans. New Orleans. There's like 3 different ways to say it depending on where you are in Louisiana.
Oh, jeez, Batman, calm yourself now.
I said I was not going to acknowledge your presence in the live chat ever again, and I am not going to give you any more heart emojis. I promise. Because you insulted me. You insulted me by saying I had a weak constitution. You can go to hell.
That goes to some caffeine, you poor boy. I am sleeping a lot better and longer, but I don't want to sleep longer. Then you drink.
Because I'm speaking in Spanish.
Caffeine.
Coffee.
That or he's so happy that I'm not going to acknowledge his presence anymore. So let's get on to the next segment.
Yeah, we gotta wrap the show up sometime today.
Yeah, sometime today.
We're not American reality here.
Right, exactly. Not American reality.
Yes, Jacob, you will. Yes, you get your heart emojis, definitely.
This just in. Beverly Hills 90210, Cleveland Browns 3.
Alright, since we have no roads to affiliates, we're going to go straight into the recommended. So, yeah.
Alrighty.
The first one is a CG animated short film in HD called Gus by Honeydew Studios. This is a cute, funny little 9-minute animated short about a caveman and his son that got ostracized due to a particular pungent problem. I'm not going to go into details as to what the pungent problem is because you're going to have to watch the video to find that out. But there it is. And it is from one of my favorite channels that highlights independent animation, CGI Brothers. I love CGI Brothers, and I love wait a minute, this is from the CG Meetup channel, sorry. CG Meetup and the CGI Brothers always highlight all sorts of animated shorts from all sorts of independent student films and things of that nature, and a lot of them are really good. So check that out. Second one on the list is Donut Operator. He said he wasn't going to talk about Shaun King anymore, but then Shaun King had a massive case of foot and mouth disease in regards to a highway patrol officer, and our lovable cop, Donut Operator, had to say something, and he does. And he says that, you know, he gave up time watching cartoons with his son to talk about this fucker. Because he doesn't call him a fucker, but he talks about him. So, yeah, this is another good video to check out.
Where you said that, you know, he's racist, that the cop was racial profiling?
Yeah.
Because he's white?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, apparently, this girl is trying to say that this Highway Texas patrol officer, after he pulled her over, sexually assaulted her. There's a dash.
Oh, Jesus.
She's
too ugly to assault.
No. There's dash cam footage.
Oh.
It's already been proven. It's already been proven that the assault didn't happen.
Of course.
But you know,
it did.
Yeah.
But she said it did. So a black woman like that, you know,
yeah,
she's always telling the truth.
Talcum X. Okay. Next one, Doomcock, otherwise known as Overlord DVD, does a video titled "Doomcock Rages at the SJW News. Lando confirmed as pansexual." And for those of you, that is Lando Calrissian that the SJWs are talking about, even though there is no evidence in any movie that I have seen with Lando Calrissian in it that he chases tail and cock.
He was a true man who loved the ladies.
He was a player.
What? Why are you destroying Star Wars so much? It's destroyed beyond recognition.
Because like diversity and stuff, okay? You gotta have like diversity, because like diversity is great.
I will hobble down to Atlanta and I will hit you.
Was it the accent?
Anyway.
I swear to God, I do that accent way too well. Okay, the last one is from The Quartering. Did SJWs ruin Deadpool 2, a movie review? And from what I hear, he's saying no. That it did not. That he rather enjoyed the movie. And there were some references from the movie before it. So this is a really good video if you want a pretty even-handed review of Deadpool 2. Which, by the way, grossed $125 million over the weekend, knocking Avengers Infinity War out of the top spot.
Okay.
So yeah,
no, as a Star Trek fan, it's nice to see the Star Wars fans suffer also.
We have been suffering for a long time, dude. Ever since fucking Clone Wars, man.
Since Jar Jar. Yeah, ever since he came the bane of our existence.
He's a retarded boy with long ears and floppy tongue. Oh.
That requires me to go down there again and smack you. And
two
Jacob
for two,
goes,
huh?
he saw that poem too, and he said it was awesome.
Yep, over the weekend, and I am going to put this up here. And it's just not going to be as long a one as it was yesterday. Before... let me see. Yep, it's going to pop up on screen now. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. The affront to my eyes. Okay. Let me widen this up a bit so you guys can see this abomination. Okay, I am not going to go in as long a rant as I did yesterday, but I am going to go in a little mini one. What you're seeing, unfortunately, very unfortunately, is a side-by-side comparison of the 1985 oh Lord, I can't even say this.
Thundercats.
Of my favorite Thundercat, one of my favorite cartoons of all time, and its bastardization of a remake coming in 2018. Now, I am going to say this with absolute surety that it is a bastardization beyond bastardization, because this is lazy animation. Okay?
Yeah, it is.
Now, there was a reboot in 2011 that I am going to give full credit to, because those people did put a lot of thought in it. But this 2018, when I saw the intro video and the dude referred to the Sword of Omens as my magic slicing stick, it made my eye twitch. It physically made my eye twitch. This physically hurts me. Because this does not look like Lion-O, nor does this look like Mumra, nor does this look like Panthro, or does this look like Tigra.
Or any Thundercat whatsoever.
Exactly.
In the history of Thundercats.
Yeah, I figured Lopal was still going ballistic. Okay.
Oh my goodness, that's so horrible.
It is. They're completely unrecognizable from their former counterparts, and Panthro was my favorite one.
Is this going to be on Adult Swim or something? Because that's what
Cartoon Network, not Adult Swim. Regular Cartoon Network programming.
That was close. Alright.
Okay, and I'm sorry, but if there was a way, if there was an absolute way to, without me getting trouble on Twitch, to play the entire run of the 1985 Thundercats, I would. I would live stream at least 2 episodes a day, so people could be introduced to the Thundercats that I grew up with.
As long as they leave my Voltron alone, we're good.
Yeah.
Original Voltron, not the 100-piece Voltron.
Yeah, oh, the one with the cars? Yeah, I hated the one with the cars.
That was
stupid. Mumra's supposed to look like an ancient horror. Exactly. We discussed this. You were on my stream yesterday, Jacob, when we were discussing this before I played World of Warcraft. And I also went into a comparison. I mean, I'm going to take that clip and I'm going to upload it to YouTube because it is a full-on rant, and it even compares Michael Bay's Transformer to the existing animation for Optimus Prime and what he looks like in the new animation style, which is absolutely fucking lazy.
So basically we live in a world where everything is lazy. Every artist is lazy, apparently, with the cartoons, and no one really gives a crap anymore.
Now, you can answer... You've known me long enough for this. Go ahead.
I just want to say, Jacob, I know they mess with Voltron, but I'm not thinking about it because it never happened in my mind.
Well, the thing is, I saw the reboot. The reboot was rather interesting because it answered the question, what happened if there was another color lion as the head of Voltron?
Right.
Okay, and it was really interesting to see the different configurations and the different final weapons in those different forms, and the storyline was actually pretty solid. It wasn't a bad reboot. It wasn't a bad reboot. Rogue and I are looking into streaming the Thundercats, maybe. Tell him not to take my idea, damn it. Yeah, the reboot story is good. I mean, you had so yeah, this is just there were already comments in the section telling them that they needed to go die in a fire, and I completely agree. Because when I say, after comparing animation styles, okay, that I prefer Michael Bay's Optimus Prime to the current animation style of Optimus Prime, what does that tell you, Merlin?
I want to go back under my rock and not come out again.
That means they rebooted it again, Sandman, because in the other reboot that I saw, Pidge was not a girl. Pidge was still a dude.
Ugh.
So they SJW'd it.
Oh, yeah.
There was already one girl on the team.
Yeah, there was only one, yeah.
Pidge was never a girl.
No, not at all.
Alright, for the Humble Bundle for the day.
Humble Bundle, yes.
Time for the Humble Bundle. It is Cosplay 2.0. Have you ever wondered how to get started in cosplay? Have you ever wondered how to make stuff in order for you to start in cosplay? Whether to make your own cosplay costumes or buy stuff to make to sell to other cosplayers? Well, for the next 9 days, 2 hours and 5 minutes, and for $1 or more, you can get to Guide to Basic Garment Assembly for the Fashion Industry, Sewing for Dummies, 3rd edition, The Book of Prop Making, Beginner's Guide to Making Mind-Blowing Props, Foam Smith, How to Create Foam Armor Costumes, The Mood Guide to Fabric and Fashion, the essential guide from the world's most famous fabric store. $8 or more also gets you the Book of Cosplay Armor Making, the Book of Cosplay Sewing, the Hero's Closet, Sewing for Cosplay and Costuming, Make Props and Costume Armor, Foamsmith 2, How to Forge Foam Weapons, Make Getting Started with 3D Printing. Also available, $15 or more gets you Make Design for 3D Printing, Roust and Body Paint, Primer Mold Making, Robot Guide to Bondo. I knew that was coming up sooner or later. The Cosplay of Lights. Make Wearable Electronics, the Book of Cosplay Painting. And it supports the charity Doctors Without Borders. If you do not want to support Doctors Without Borders, there are other charities that you can support by the purchase of that bundle. And you have 9 days in order to buy that bundle. If I had the money, I would buy the bundle.
Guys? 9 days. Come on, let's go. Shut up.
You also have 3 more days to take advantage of the spring sale. I see here. Let me click
3
on
days,
that.
folks. Come on. Time's running out.
Right?
Get a second job if you have to.
Alright, here we go. And once again, just to refresh your memories, as soon as this thing loads, the spring sale continues with Shadows of War, Assassin's Creed Origins, Wizard of Legend, Stellaris, Call of Duty World at War, Destiny 2, and more. Worlds Adrift, Slay the Spire, BioShock the Collection. All of these are on sale for the next 3 days in their spring sale with up to 85% off on select titles.
Woohoo!
And now that I sounded exactly like a frickin' commercial,
Yes, you did.
my birthday is on July 29th.
I'm sorry. I mean, yay. No, wait. Anyway. I confused myself.
Yeah, so those are your Humble Bundles. There were no roads to affiliate today. If you know anybody on Twitch that is on the road, that is actively on the road to affiliate, and you want to help them out, please have them DM me with the channel link, what they lack to make it to affiliate, and also what they do on their channel. In other words, the type of programming they run on their channel, and I will highlight them on the show. Without anybody, helping me look for these people, they will forever be a small channel. Now I sound really fucking stuck up. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, you do there.
We all need to help channels that have not reached affiliate yet. And in order to do that, we need to work together and get this list and get these people's names out there so people can actually find all these other people on Twitch. Because there are huge channels that have good stuff, but there are tiny Twitch channels that have really good content and that have really good personalities when they're streaming as well. And we need to help everybody out. Whether it's
that sounded much better.
Right.
That sounds much better than the way you tried.
Yep, sticking together like a big happy family. Exactly. Hashtag Dreamy Team is Dreamy Team rules. Underdogs drool. Sorry, you are bulldogs, so that's technically correct.
What?
You said something about bulldogs?
What did I just miss?
We're all in smaller little teams trying to help each other up. So Panina and I have now a little rivalry. She's in the underdog team. I'm in the Dreamy Team. So it's kind of like a dare I say it, Georgia Tech kind of rivalry going on between me and Panina, because Panina's an underdog and I'm on the Dreamy Team.
Dogs rule, jackets drool.
Yeah, but my team has the cello player, so yeah.
Gators for life.
Oh, Gator
That's
hater.
right, I said it. Gator for life.
Hashtag Gator hater for life.
But anyway, I think we've been at this for a little too long. Our brains are frying.
Yeah, our brains are frying.
I am going to have to save up a little bit of money and send him an official Gator Hater T-shirt.
Exactly.
And then what I could do is live on stream, I could burn it in front of you.
Oh Lord, have mercy! That's going to start something that you don't.
Maybe I will burn a bulldog while I'm at it.
On that note, may your coffee ever flow, may your caffeine be ever strong, and may you have an absolutely marvelous Monday.
Hi, I'm a Merlin. Go Gators!